Welcome to this GCSE revision question on sequences. So we got a 5-mark question, should take us 5 minutes to do. Let's walk through the question. So first of all, here is a sequence of patterns made by grey squares and white squares. That's pretty cool, right? So we can see the pattern here. So if we look at the white squares, we got 2 and still 2 and still 2, that's fine. But the grey squares are increasing. It's 2 here and then 4 and 6, so we can see a pattern. In the space below, draw pattern number 4. So for that one, I'm just going to pause it here and draw it. So for this one, I cheated ever so slightly because I just copied over the shape. So I'm just going to finish that off here, and then I'm going to put this little piece on the end, and then I'm just going to color that in like so. And that's going to be the next pattern. So you notice that it just increased by 2, and then we got the 2 white bits on the end. So that's 1 mark in the bag. Now work out the total number of squares needed to make pattern 7. Now I probably should call this P4. And notice what they said. Total number of squares. This information is really important. So I need to know the total number of squares that I got going in the first place. So on the first one, I have got 4 squares on the first pattern, so there's 4. On the second one, I've got 4 add 2, so that's going to be 6 squares. On the next one, I have got 6 add 2, that's going to be 8 squares. So you can see a pattern happening here. This is increasing by 2 every time. And this is pattern number 1. Let's actually put the numbers up because this is going to be the positions. Pattern number 1, pattern 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pattern number 7. And so that's now going to mean that I increase by 2 every time. So that's going to be 10, 12, 14, and 16 squares in that pattern. Now you will get the mark for that if you did it that way. Another way you could have done it, and please don't add this to my 5 minutes, but I'm just showing you another way you could have done it. I'm going to do this in red, is that I can see the patterns going up in 2s there. So I can find the nth term and I can say 2n and then add 2. And so if I want pattern number 7, change the n to a 7, which will then be 2 times 7 add 2, which will still give us 16 there. Okay, so you've got a couple of options and you'll get your mark for those. Anyway, to finish this off in what will be less than 5 minutes, it says the total number of squares needed to make pattern 20 is, AXA, let's call her that, says that the total number of squares needing to make 20 is double the total number of squares needing to make 10. Is she correct? Give a reason for your answer. Well, in this case, I will use my nth term. So pattern number 10, so I'm going to say P10 is going to be 2 times 10 add 2, which is going to be equal to 22. And then pattern number 20 is 2 times 20 add 2, which is going to be equal to 42 because double 20 is 40, add 2 is 42. So clearly AXA is wrong. So AQSA is wrong because pattern 10 is 22, pattern 20, let's write that properly, pattern 20 is 42, which is not double 22. And that brings us to the end of this 5-mark question.